welcome back. Now before we can start coloring our butterfly, the first thing we have to do is choose a color scheme so we know what we're doing when we start coloring. I've already chosen the color scheme that we're going to be using right here. You've already seen what the butterfly looks like, so we're going to be using this purple color, these purples and blues, and then we're going to use this little bit of orange/yellow to give it a little bit of contrast in it. So this is the color scheme. You can go ahead and look at this and pause it to try to find the colors that are similar. If you're using Prismacolors, that's what I'm using, so you can just match these colors. But if you're not using Prismacolors, just go ahead and try your best to find the colors that are the same. Alright, now that you know what our color scheme is, I'm going to go ahead and show you how we're going to execute this. So to first start coloring our butterfly, we're going to start out with this top left wing. So in this section, we're going to do this wing, and then we're going to move our way down to this bottom left wing. Then after we've done that, we're going to do the body. Once we've done that, we're going to do the top right wing, then the bottom right wing. And the reason why we're moving this direction, we're going to be moving in a diagonal direction going this way. And the reason why we do that is so we're not rubbing our hand over areas that we've already colored and smearing it. So there will be this little bit of pencil over here, and your hand will be rubbing on it as you color. So if you want, you can lay a piece of paper down covering this half of the butterfly so you don't smear it at all. But I'm not going to, just so you guys can see a lot better and so it doesn't look confusing. But if you want to do that, that's totally fine. So do your best to follow along, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. First thing, let's take our white colored pencil and we're going to color in these dots up at the tip of the wing. And the reason why we're going to color these in first is because we're going to be filling this in with black. And you don't want to fill this in with black first, then add your white, because the black will bleed in and smear and blend. We want it to look nice, crisp, and clean. So let's go ahead and color these in. Alright, perfect. Now, we won't be using our white colored pencil for quite a while now, so let's go ahead and put that to the side for now. Now, let's go ahead and pull out our black pencil. For our black pencil, we're going to color in all the spots that are going to be black, right along here, up at the top, as well as right here, and at the bottom of the wing right there. So, go ahead and do this along with me and start coloring this in black. Alright guys, as you can see I finished. I sped it up a little bit, so if you guys need to, go ahead and pause it and color that in. So as you can see here, I just added a few little extra markings here, and you guys can go ahead and do the same or do something a little bit different. Go ahead and be creative with it, guys. They don't all have to look exactly the same, and yours doesn't have to look just like mine. Right, so now that we've got that all colored in, let's go ahead and move on to the actual color. So now it's time for your light blue pencil. And what we're going to do is block in our colors and where they're going to go and where their boundaries are. So let's take your light blue color. We're going to draw in where this color can go. So we're going to just draw that in just like that. So that right there is where this blue color is going to go in, and then it's going to bleed and blend into the next color right around this ring. So let's go ahead and take our light pink or light purple, and we're going to do the same thing. So this area right here is where the blue is going to be, and in this area is where our purple will be. And this area right here is where the two will bleed into each other. Let's just do one final one with our dark blue. We're going to do this one really close to the black. Right, perfect. Now we're going to start with our darker colors and go in towards the light so we're not smearing our hand over that. So let's take our dark blue, just go ahead and start coloring this in. And the dark blue is going to blend in really well next to the black. So there's not going to be much blending required here. Remember, don't press your blue down extremely hard next to the edge here, because that is where it needs to start blending. So let's do put a lot of pressure down here, and then ease up a little bit. Alright, so we've got our dark blue in. Now we're going to add our purple in and blend our purple into our blue, just how I showed you guys in our previous lectures. Alright, now we got all of our purple in, so let's go back with our dark blue again up at the top and color it in even darker and get that final blend. And make sure you don't push too hard when you're going into the purple. Alright, now then, let's one more time take our purple and make one more final blend, since purple is the lighter color, so we're going to blend it into the blue. That's going to look real nice. As you can see, as we blended our purple into our blue, it gave us an even darker tone of purple. That looks really nice as it transitions from the blue to the purple. There we go. Now your butterfly should be looking a whole lot like this now. We've got our black going into our dark blue, going into our purple. Now we're going to bleed our purple into our light blue. So let's take our blue here and just start laying it down. Alright, so now as our blue is getting into our purple, we're gonna blend that in just like so. You go a little bit lighter the closer in you get. And then we're going to do the same thing we did with these two colors. We'll take our purple back, bleed in a little bit. Let's actually take our purple all the way down along here to this black. That's going to look real good once we take our blue again and fade it back in. Let's do the same up here. Just bring it down a little bit. There we go. Let's lightly color in some more blue right there, or purple. Alright, so it looks pretty rough right now, but then let's take our blue once again. Just go over these purples. It's gonna blend them in real nice. And up here, you can go ahead and go in circular motions, so it doesn't look like lines going across in your colors, and it will look a lot smoother. Alright guys, and there you have it. We have our color in now. Just gonna actually fade this in a little bit more. Let's blend that a little bit better. Now, if you guys ever end up doing this on your own and you want it to look more blended in as you go on, you can do that by using a lot more colors. For this exercise, we're only using 3 colors, but you could do a dark blue here, a dark purple, mid-tone purple, light purple, blue, lighter blue, all the way down to like yellow if you wanted. You could do that, but we're only using 3 colors. So we've got our light blue, purple, dark blue, and then we have our black up here. So guys, we're almost done with this wing, minus the highlights and shadows. We're going to be doing highlights and shadows for it in a whole nother lecture. But before we end this, let's go ahead and take our black and just touch up our edges a little bit more, just to make them look a little sharper. Alright, and there you go. Our left top wing is colored now. In the next lecture, we're going to move down to the bottom area. And then once we've done our bottom wing, we're going to come back and do the little small details like the veins running through its through its wing, sorry. We're going to do those. We're going to add highlights and shadows to this one, and then once we've done that, we can move on to the body. So first wing done. I'll see you in the next lecture where we can do the bottom wing.